All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be focusing on just one single source.
Oh, wow.
It's called ATMIPDOWNS.mp3.
Okay.
So obviously a music track.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that this one track, just this one song,
Right.
seems to be packed with meaning,
Yeah.
and it kind of hints at a bigger picture.
Yeah.
So our goal in this deep dive is going to be to try to see what we can learn about these artists just from this one song.
That's a fun challenge.
Yeah, so from their relationships to even their philosophies, we're gonna see what we can uncover today.
I love it.
So right off the bat, the phrase that jumps out at you when you listen to this is "day ones."
Yeah. Day ones for sure.
It's repeated throughout the track, almost like a mantra.
Right.
What is the significance of that phrase?
Well, I mean, in hip hop culture, day ones isn't just like, your casual friends. These are the people who've been there with you from the very beginning, through thick and thin, through the ups and the downs. And it really signifies a very strong bond that's built on, these shared experiences.
Right.
But it also speaks to a need for trust and stability, especially in the music industry, which we all know is, kind of fickle.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of fleeting fame, broken promises.
For sure.
So when you're in that kind of world, having those genuine connections and that loyalty becomes super important, even more precious.
Absolutely. And I think, what makes that even more clear is another line in the track where they say, "We see snakes in the cross since we goats."
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think they're trying to get at with that?
That's really interesting because it's a very strong image. We've got snakes, which are usually associated with betrayal and deceit,
Yeah.
lurking in the symbol of faith. But then they're calling themselves goats. And, of course, that has a double meaning there.
Right.
Not just literally being in the studio,
Yeah.
but, the GOAT, which stands for greatest of all time.
Oh, of course.
So it seems like what they're saying is that, they've had to deal with some treachery,
Yeah.
but they've come out stronger,
Right.
maybe even, a little bit wary.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, we've seen the dark side, we've seen the fake friends, but we're still here and we're still thriving.
For sure. So they've overcome that.
Exactly.
And it seems like they're using this, this wordplay and these acronyms kind of as like a secret language for people who are in the know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of hip hop artists do that. They like to layer meanings into their lyrics.
Right.
So you have to kind of unpack it and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. It makes you think a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, too, because, they're talking about this loyalty with their day ones.
Right.
But there's also a sense of tension in the song, too.
There is.
They say, if I got a problem to solve, I know who to call. Like, I have your back, you should have mine.
Right, exactly.
But then almost in the same breath, it's like, ooh.
Forgot to call you, never around. Yeah, there's definitely some push and pull there.
So how do we make sense of that?
I think it's just acknowledging the reality of any relationship, even the strongest ones.
Yeah.
You expect that support from your day ones, but life happens.
Right.
People change.
Yeah.
And those relationships get tested.
Absolutely. And especially, I imagine, in a demanding career like the music industry.
Oh, for sure.
Like you said, it's fickle.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that there would be some tension there.
Yeah, you got to put the work in to maintain those connections.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why some of these other lines in the song are so interesting.
Yeah.
But there's one where they say, the left wing and the right wing to me is the same bird.
Whoa. What do you make of that one?
I mean, it's pretty open to interpretation, right?
Yeah.
But it could be a commentary on politics, like how it's so divisive. And they're trying to say that, at the end of the day, we're all part of the same, flock,
Yeah.
that we should be focusing on our shared humanity rather than getting caught up in these labels.
I think that's a really important message, especially today.
It is.
And then there's another line that's just kind of, out there. They say, dumb, says the book of M7, verse 64.
I love that one.
So what do we think? Is this a joke?
I think so.
Is there a hidden meaning?
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a little nod to their creative process.
Right, like a little Easter egg.
Exactly. They're not always taking themselves so seriously.
Yeah, I love that.
But there's always more to uncover.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so amazing about this whole deep dive, right? It's just one song, but we're learning so much about them. Their experiences, their values, their outlook on the world.
It's like a little window into their minds.
Right, and it just goes to show, how powerful music can be.
Definitely.
Even in, such a short format, it can be packed with meaning. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. What are your day ones like? How would you describe those relationships? And how do you keep those bonds strong? It's something to consider. And remember, there's always more beneath the surface. So that's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.